is my mother, and the other guest is Tom with Modern Craft. Today we're going to go over on how Sherry, my mother, got to know Tom with Modern Craft and how they got to be hooked up in Standish and some of the wine lines that they carry and the deals and promotions going on at the wine room here locally in Standish. So, Tom, if you want to introduce yourself and just give a kind of a brief story on what you're about, go ahead.
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having us on the cast here.
Thanks, yeah.
I've been here for a little bit, watching you guys set up and doing this. I mean, this is serious. This is a serious thing, man.
It's serious. No one understands, but it's a full-blown promotion, you know. So
I'm used to the whole put your iPhone up and do this. This is not that. This is for real.
This is a small
you
video.
don't see this in the background, but this is really cool. So thanks for having us on. Really appreciate this.
Appreciate that. It takes a lot of help.
Yeah. So Modern Craft. This is not your ordinary wine, man. We started this thing up. I was a beer guy.
Okay.
Totally. I mean, it was brewing beer in the basement. Carboys and you'd bottle this stuff up and you'd turn the light on downstairs and next thing you know there'd be a driveway full of cars hanging out and people at tables and drinking all the beer, and it's like, hey guys, come on, like if we're gonna keep doing this, throw a little bit of money in the hat, maybe I could use some money to keep the beer rolling, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, sweet. So they'd start, and it's turned into a thing, and then I was like, pressure, like open a bar, a brewery. And so I started looking into it, and it's like, man, it's just too much. There's too much red tape for breweries.
Yeah,
and
there is.
A buddy of mine was like, wine. You ever thought about wine? Dude, you ever been to the grocery store, man? Go look at the grocery store on the wine rack. What would you do? How would you even know what to do?
I don't know. I'm confused at the wine rack at the store.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So that's what our whole mission is just make wine simple. Make something simple for people. So we started out making some fruit wines, and we really thought that making fruit wines like just peach, cherry, like that's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
When we do it with just fruit, it was like we're just not getting this right. It's not hitting the mark. We're not getting the flavors we want. It's too much sugar. It's too sweet.
You can't make peach taste like peach and raspberry taste like raspberry.
No, you can, but it's gotta be better than that, right? I mean, this is serious.
Okay.
So we started doing these infused wines. We made white wines, red wines. You'd blend these together, and we'd take raspberries and you just infuse raspberries. So it's basically the best of both worlds. You take red wines and white wines. What you like out of that. You take what you like out of the raspberries and the peach, and you put that in the wine, and you get this just brilliant.
Well, for the listeners, what's infusion? When you talk about infusion, share to the listeners on myself as well. What's that about?
I would give you away all my secrets, right? You bring the competition in.
So that's a competitive advantage is infused wine versus non-infused wine.
What I tell people is that think of peach juice, right? Press the peaches out. You get the peaches, juice, take the water out. That's like kind of the concentration process, right?
Okay.
Now, take the sugar out.
Okay.
You're left with just what you like with the peaches. What tastes good in that peach, and you put a little bit of that, enough into your white wines, your red wines. You match the flavors up and make these
So
awesome
you don't
wines.
use everything just from the juice. You break it down and you find just the part, because you don't know which part you like. So you just process of elimination. You eliminate one process, taste it. No, eliminate the next. Keep eliminating the process until you found the taste that you want.
Absolutely. Yep. And then we ended up with this light, crisp, fruity wines that had just the right amount of sweetness that's perfectly balanced. And it was like people got a taste of that, and we this was before we even opened, right? And they're like, you got to open this. And it just so happened at the time that wineries, there's this parlor winery industry out there, and it's pretty simple. Get a few tanks to do some fermentation, get a license. You can start small. Breweries, you had to have food and all this other stuff that was too much. We didn't want to go that way. So wine was simple, and we opened the first tasting room, and I mean, it was an overnight success. And we might have been in business for 6 months, and we ended up with 3 tasting rooms open. So it was kind of, these tasting rooms, we're all about partnerships and building relationships with people. So we ended up starting to look for retail stores that had space that they needed just a little extra something to bring people in the door. That's where Modern Craft came in. So the first one opened in Harrisville. This was a long time ago. Harrisville's not there anymore, but that was, there's that one. But then West Branch, just a few months later, we opened one in West Branch, a little boutique. They sell umbrellas and don't tread on me things. And
Yeah.
pretty cool stuff. So cigars, they sell that kind of stuff. And we ended up with a wine tasting room in there. And it was just a partnership deal. Like they kind of run it. We lease a little space in the store. They operate it. We kind of share labor, share help. And this was the business model. It was like instantly, we know what our business model is. And that's kind of what took off. I mean, at one point, I think we had 6-7 tasting rooms open.
Which leads you into Marigolds, my mother's store,
yeah.
which if we could give her some little limelight. And Mother, can you tell us about what Marigolds is about and why you attracted someone like Tom? Why you think that your store was a good fit?
Great question.
Okay, well,
You could bring your mic down if you kind of
Okay, basically, I was inspired when I bought the building from when I traveled to Chicago to see you and visit. There was pop-ups in Chicago, and they'd be like 3 months long. So I started with a small Christmas store for like 3 months, and that went well. And then I was open year round, and I had the back space that was really kind of dead space.
Yeah.
And so I talked to Tom, and here we are. Now I have.
I don't know that
a
it was
wine
that
tasting
simple,
system.
was
Well,
it?
no, it wasn't that. It took us a while to do this.
I can help out a
It
little
was
bit.
sort of frustrating, but yeah, I was
yeah.
You guys had
inspired
a
by
lot of
my.
hurdles to jump.
Well,
Yes,
Tan Man,
we
man,
did.
you guys, do you
yes,
have something to add
Tanner.
in? Tan?
Yes, Tanner.
Well, I've seen her for the past year struggle through some hurdles, and she's been getting through them.
Yeah, Marigolds
Thank
came
you
down a
for all the
long
help.
road and a big transformation. And hey, if you guys are just tuning in and you guys just came on wondering what we're talking about, I'm Tyler with Whatever Blows Your Hair Back. And we got Tom with Modern Craft Wine, my mother Sherry Michek with Marigolds. And we're talking about today how we bring those guys together, how they came together and inspired to the greatness in downtown Standish. So we got those guys on here. So right now, as I interrupted, just to let the viewers know who they're talking to, what's going on, I guess elaborate a little bit more on the structure on you starting your store, you finding each other. What was the first step to collaborate?
So this was a couple years ago. I know it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Gosh, it's been
Tom.
a while. Yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
I had a gal that used to run some of the tasting rooms. She answered the phone and did those things, right? And Amy, and bless if she's watching. I appreciate everything she's done. She's not with us anymore.
Shout out Amy.
But
You're watching.
Amy was the one that took the original call from Sherry, and then of course she would always relay this stuff to me, and she's like, hey, there's this place in Standish. Huh? Standish?
What's Standish?
Okay, what do you mean? Yeah, it's a gift store. Well, how come I've never heard about this? And
Fair
she's
question,
like, well,
right?
it's new. She's like, all right, well, all right. And she's like, yeah, she's thinking about a tasting room. I'm like, sweet. Well, I'm in here. Let's see what she's got to say.
Yeah.
So Amy kind of hooked us up, and
Yes.
I
2
came
years
down
later?
and it's been pretty close. Yeah.
Yes. It's
There you
taken a
have it,
while.
gentlemen. Everyone watching. It takes time for anything. This is something simple as making the wine. From Tom making the wine, from Tom getting the idea and inspiration, from them producing a product, troubleshooting the product to find out what really worked, then finding out where the product sells, the 4 Ps, right? Product, price, placement, promotion. All 4 applied there. And so that's what brings those all together. So I guess my mother has a good location for the product placement, I guess. So would you say?
We're believing so.
Would you? So let's fast forward past that. Now everyone who's been in noticed that Marigolds now has a wine room in the back, and it looks great, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Awesome.
it just does some great work. Chicago Fabrication did some work. I know Justin Gorski with some
Well,
wood
it's a whole
did some work.
team of people
Whole
that's
team,
done so many
collaboration,
things.
contractors. Shout out to all those guys. So if you guys haven't been in there, make sure you get in there. Is there any promotions that you're running right now we should tell the people about?
Well, we're working on quite a few things actually right now. Like I've talked to the chamber and tried to get a
This is like grand opening. Like we're
Yes.
talking grand opening
Yes,
now, right?
yes. Which is August 1st. It's Friday.
August 1st. You guys heard it. August 1st, grand opening for the
you're in.
Winecraft
And Melissa.
Marigolds
And
downtown.
Melissa, get Melissa in on this.
It's a party August 1st. So, guys, put it in your calendars. August 1st showdown. So, on August 1st, what can our viewers expect if they come through?
Great
Modern?
service.
Great service.
Great
let's talk about
products.
what you guys. Let's talk about the contributions that you guys can. The value propositions that you two coming together. What we bring. Why would someone come into your store and buy Modern Winecraft wine? Just in like the simplest way, what could you say is some attributes that you have upon others?
I mean, first of all, it's the products. Right?
Yes.
Nobody
Yes, I
has.
agree, the
Nobody
products.
else has anything
Unique
like
product.
we have.
Yes,
Yeah.
Unique
very
product.
unique product.
We started this winery on simplicity and doing things with wine that wine industry's never done before. We started this trend in the wine in the wine business, this whole mixology, and you mix different wines together. I mean, this was considered blasphemy. You know,
Yeah. You could get
10
some
years
heat
ago-
from the wine industry. They're picky people.
yeah, this is this, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for
and
sure.
put it this way. We went to the first wine event that we went to. We showed up here with our fruit infused wines, and we're all proud of this stuff, and people were loving it. And we go to this event, and there's all the hoity wineries out there, and they've got their Pinot Noirs and their Cabernets, and they're serving those, and we're
So
serving.
you're aside from that. You really.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, that's not me.
That's not me.
I'm over here.
That's not we're over here. And you know, the line that we had was from here to the wall long, and they had people just kind of coming, people, but just coming. And when the one guy come over to us, and he says, "What are you doing?" Well, we're selling wine. What are you doing? And so we're like, "Hey, we got an opportunity. Here's a vintner here. This guy's from Traverse City. He's from the Ritz. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
We said, "Here, try some of our Pinot Noir," and he takes a little swig of it and he spits it out, and I'm like, "Man, is that rude?"
Yeah.
Well,
Rude for sure.
No, but that's not. That's what they do. They just they put it in their mouth, they spit it out. It's like, that's just weird. Like, why would you do that?
That's
you
the
know,
thing.
and he's like, "Oh, I taste cherries and this and." You know, you guys, it's people like you that ruining the wine business. You're ruining the wine business. You shouldn't even be doing this wine making. It starts in the vineyards, and this. We don't do wine. We don't do vineyards. We find the farmers that know what they're doing, and we do what we know what we're doing.
So you
which
battled
is-
them. You hung in there. You just didn't let them.
Yeah, and it's I didn't know what to say to him at first. I'm like, I just didn't say anything, right? I'm just trying to be nice. I feel like I'm intruding on your event in the first place, right? So, but I remember going home and I said, that's funny, because it's people like that is the entire reason why Modern Craft exists in the first place. Put your pinky down. We're not that kind of wine.
Yeah. So that's good. So you got you kind of you know where you're at in the market. Hey, haven't you guys checked on Facebook or anything to make sure everything's good?
Yeah.
You guys are all good. All right, cool. So you're different there. So there's one proposition value. What would bring another person aside from just your product alone? What maybe something Marigolds bring? What do you bring to the wine, Mother, that would help it aside from his value proposition?
Well, I have a really nice room,
Okay.
and I'm basically learning. This is all new for me, so I'm pretty excited to learn about wine as far as flavor, smell, taste, pairing.
So
This is an all new experience for me, and I'm really enjoying it. But
So one of your value propositions is, if the viewers listening,
providing a good place.
is she's excited to serve you guys an experience. She just built this cool wine room. Not only is he excited about his product, but you, Mother, are excited to display his product and get people
and
in.
sell his product. I want to
But it's
build,
not-
work on building.
It's
the
not just
brand.
wine. There's other stuff. We got charcuterie. You're doing charcuterie. You've got all
Yes.
kinds of neat gifts. There's candles and shopping. You can come in and do some shopping, and there's tables you can hang out with. So this wine room actually is unique compared to the rest of ours.
Okay.
Right? So this one is full drinks. If you know anything about wineries, wine tasting rooms, there's a special license that you have to do full drinks, where normally it's tastings. You have a little couple sips
That's why
of
they
wine.
call it wine tasting.
Wine tastings, exactly.
So a wine room, you can't call, if she was just going to do tastings, which I think that was your original plan, is to do the tasting, and then you grew into like, well, actually, I can get my full service license, and you guys were like, let's just roll with that.
Well, it just sort of
Absolutely,
happened,
that's what
right,
we
Tom?
did.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
sort of
we
happened.
had them
With
available.
it, yes.
There's a limit. They limit us on how many we can have of those. We're limited to 5. Well, we had one available, and so we said, let's do full drinks. So you can come in and get flights, full glasses of wine. You can do an ultimate slammer platter. That one's awesome, man. We
The
do.
slabber platter.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about the slabber platter. I think Valerie was talking about, right, V?
What's the slabber?
What's the
platter?
slabber platter?
Oh man! So like this year, we're flavor junkies, and so we look for other companies, like especially beverage companies that are flavor junkies too. We've done a lot with Jones Soda. They got some really cool things. There's some local ones. A Brick Soda, and they're out of Grand Rapids, and he's kind of a local guy. His grandma had a place in Tawas here, so we had a bunch of their products. But this year, it's like Red Bull has turned up the flavor dial. Man, they've got Juneberry, they've got a white peach, they've got grapefruit blossom. They've got some really neat flavors right now, and let me tell you that Red Bull pairs so good with our wine. It's like
So let me get that right. So, and that's what those guys didn't like, that you're putting Red Bull in wine and you're
absolutely,
experimenting.
yeah.
You're taking the culture in a different
Well, that's
direction.
blast-
Which actually, if I can chime in,
Please do.
Yes.
I'm not much of a wine guy, but I like the Red Bull wine pairing myself. That gets me to drink the wine. So
Yeah, so we've
A
got
lot
a
of
whole
guys
menu.
like it.
it got
Like
me.
the
It,
mix.
Yeah.
it gets me into wine a little.
Well,
bit.
women too, but
Yeah, the guys.
men
like
that
wine.
men that drink beer, they like the mix.
Absolutely.
That's what I've been. So it makes men happy as well. Women love to come in and have.
So we got a
They're
couple of your
wine,
wines here,
but-
guys. Let's go. All right. So let's go over.
some
I got you guys got a beautiful display of your wines right
Okay,
here. So
so
why don't
I'll
we
get this
walk me
one
through?
out.
Let's
We'll
start
start
with
with
your
this one.
favorite wine, your favorite to
Oh,
sell,
what's your
man.
favorite?
or your
Oh,
favorite.
you got it. You're holding on to it right there. Well,
Yes.
this one's new. I'm always.
I like this.
Talk
This is very
about. Tell
good.
me what that. Go ahead and tell us about what you know about that wine, mother, and you could help her
Go
out
ahead,
along the
Tom.
way.
And what pairs best with it?
What pairs best with it?
A cigar.
A cigar.
Yes, it is.
Well, what's
I
the wine?
did
Can you
have
guys tell me what the
someone
wine
say
name
that,
is? No
that
one
they
knows what the
wished I
wine
had
name
cigars.
is. Tell the wine name, please.
Okay, this is Freestyle Red.
Freestyle red. Is that a sweet or is
Freestyle
it
red. And
dry?
what
dry.
can someone
it's
expect
dry.
to pay for a Freestyle red?
$20.
$20. So are they all $20 or
No.
just one? Or it starts there roughly around that price range?
Our fruit wines, our fruit infused wines are 15, right? And then it goes up from there. So most of our wines are fruit infused. That's the most common thing we make. But we do some reds and whites. The reds and whites, we do them, and we've got an appreciation for reds and whites, even though we were kicked out of wine events or whatever.
Yeah.
But I still do have appreciation. We do those. But
So you
this-
wanted to get sorry to interrupt. You wanted to get away from the stigma of red and white.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the stigma of wine. It's like first, that's your first question. That
Yeah.
me not even being a wine guy, that's a question that is the first question they would ask me, and I was like, I'm not a wine guy. So red or white, I think it's a grape versus a red grape, like a green grape. Like is that the difference we're talking?
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you do break it
exactly.
down.
Exactly. So
Okay.
this is the other wine, right? So you've got red wine, you've got white wine, and then you've got modern craft wine, and we're in a category completely on our own.
So you don't even have a red white category, or you do within your wine? Because I see your white and your red.
we do some reds and whites, and we
Or
just do
all
them.
night
You
red,
gotta have
all
this.
night white.
Yeah, you gotta have these things.
Some people
Check out
it's a
the
color thing.
labels.
Some people with wine it's probably just a color thing.
No,
It's a
I think
taste-
it's a
definitely a
taste.
taste.
It's a flavor, yeah.
The all night red has been a popular one just from what I've been working. People seem to be enjoying.
Yeah,
all night white and all night red.
The all night red's gonna be the wine that we make that people are gonna be most familiar with. If you're familiar with red wines and white wines, like you're gonna be familiar with all night red because it fits that bill. It's a dry table wine, and you get more and more people come and want that, and so this year we decided to take that to the next level, right? So
Yeah.
we're dry wine. Most of our fruit infused wines tend to be a little sweeter, right? You want a little bit of that sweetness to bring the fruit out. It makes it good for mixing. So this year we said Freestyle Red, we're going to take a dry
Which is
wine
this one.
and we're going to make this, we're going to put a little modern craft spin on it, right? So
Check out the label.
Yeah. this little
Freestyle
American
Red,
flag.
very patriotic label. If you don't
Yes.
see, we got a military man fighting. You got the American flag, And I think that's a great demographic for around. There's a lot of patriotic people around here, especially with
That's
what's
right.
going on.
Yes.
Are there all labels? Let me check that label out. So this is your Freestyle Red. Did you know a military guy who come up with this idea and you kind of build it? How'd you design your label?
No, I mean that took a long time to figure that out. We were, the way that one goes, it's got some whiskey. We take whiskey barrel oak and we mix it with it. It's got some brandy in it, and then we infuse just a little bit of cherry in it. So it's modern craft. It's got a lot of modern craft vibes going on, but it's dry, and it's something we've never done before.
Very good.
And so like we I thought about that for a long time and how we're gonna name that. What are we gonna call it? And the presidential
name,
election
Tom.
going on, all the stuff that was happening at the time, and it was like, how are you feeling when you did that, man? That was just like freestyle. We just winged it, and we're like, this is what we got, and so freestyle, man, it just fit. Freestyle, and it felt very
like
free, and like so the American flag had to be the American flag.
Well, so bring this up, Tyler. Just wait. Get back to the freestyle red and the freestyle white. Let's stick
I
to
want to
this.
share what I feel when I look at your brand real quick. So when I look at these two different wines, I feel like this one is, if you're going on a date, this is the one.
That's a sexy bottle. Look at this sexy bottle.
I know, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
And I'm
show
telling
that.
you,
Show that. Put
and
that
it's
one.
like, oh, this one is like we
Tyler,
hanging out with the boys, and I like wine.
Show the bottles.
Yes,
They-
the front of
hard
it
to
with
see
the
the
label.
brand.
Yeah.
Can you see the?
Can you
label?
bring up on Facebook? Oh, you got it already up.
I
there,
already did
Tam.
all that jazz.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep, you
you're the
did.
man. So yeah, these are cool brands. It's a sexy brand. It's more patriotic. So if you men like wine secretly by
And a
yourself
cigar.
and drink
And a
it,
cigar.
that's
And
why
know
you
what?
said a
They
cigar
said
with
that
this
several
one.
times.
So you target,
When
you
the men
kind
come
of
in.
target with the label. You help me out.
A Sabo red.
So
they like
for
that as well,
somebody,
too.
for somebody just getting into the wine taste.
Here's the white. Look how
What's the-
sexy that bottle is.
What
Sorry,
do you?
Tan.
Yeah.
Go
For
ahead.
somebody that's just getting into it, what do you recommend?
I
Where do you
don't
start?
I
Where do
don't
you start?
recommend going dry wine. The dry wines tend to be more of a sophisticated thing. It's for the
Right.
experienced wine
That's where
drinker,
my
man.
headache starts.
Peach.
Right.
You want to start with a sweet and then get dry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, peach. We sell more peach wine than anything else that we make. I don't know why, but man, we just nailed
has
that
really great
flavor, and
flavor.
it's light
Really
and
does.
crisp, and it's just peach.
Peach
just
is
tastes
good.
like peach.
I smoke peach blunt wraps, so peach is good.
So that's peachy.
Peachy, man, a lot of peachy going on.
So Tom? What's your favorite out of all these?
I'm a sucker for the new stuff. I'm right now like it's a flavor of the day for me, you know. So the freestyle red for me right now is just that. I think my mom and I were hanging out last night, drank a bottle of that. So like if I'm gonna hanging out in the
Black
tasting
ice
room, just like
and
I want a
this
little
one.
sip of wine
These
right
are the
now. It's
next two.
freestyle red.
Okay.
Man.
Sorry, Tom.
That stuff's just
It's on point.
yeah, it's on
That's
point.
been most people's favorites on all the flights.
Good.
The freestyle red.
Yes.
Must hit
yes,
the mark
is.
on it. Yeah, that was.
And they keep asking for cigars.
I seen you shifted gears here.
Okay,
With bottle
talk about the
size.
ice glacier.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I have a dagger of ice in my hand.
Well,
And
and
this
Tom will
one is a
explain
ice
that to you.
glacier, and
The
this is-
procedure.
So these are two
How to
different
make that.
sizes,
So
smaller
Yeah,
portions.
it's
smaller
very
bottles.
expensive.
It's juice.
bottle.
The juice comes from frozen grapes, so it's kind of this process. If grapes
Bless you.
freeze, they press it. The sugar content gets higher when they're frozen, so
And the ice
leaves a lot
glacier.
of residual sugar behind.
That one.
And that's kind of like more of the ice wine style. So it's very sweet.
Oh,
kinda
so this is
dessert
something
wine.
that you want to do cold wine.
Yeah, and it's like at the end. Well, this is the black
Not the
ice
black
right here.
ice.
So
Get
there's
back
two
to
of
the
them.
ice
Yeah,
Well,
we
glacier.
got-
both of them, I was thinking the
This-
whole bottle size doesn't mean like this is for ice, because this one has a glacier on it too.
Ice glacier in
This
there.
one's got ice glacier. This one's got an ice dagger fork.
yeah. So this one's got some brandy in it.
This one. Tom.
This one got some.
That one's a little
brandy in it.
higher alcohol content. Yeah, it'll grow hair in your chest.
Yeah, this stuff gets you pretty drunk.
Time
We,
or two.
that's been a popular seller, the ice glacier.
Yeah. It's one of our most popular.
That's the all-night
I just brought a flute. Oh, that's really good too. That.
This is your white lemon.
Oh yeah, that's a fruit infused.
No, we didn't go through these two.
Okay, well, let's stick with so we got the paddles here. You're going canoeing with your girlfriend, and then
Well, I
here you're
hope
going on a
Northbound,
picnic.
man.
It's
It's
northbound, yeah.
northbound. We got the northbound series. There's northbound red, white. We got a northbound fall. It comes out in the fall.
Northbound. And this is your white lemon.
It's really good.
This is for your
That's more
picnics.
like
This
Pinot
is
Grigio.
for canoeing
No,
down the
it's-
No,
river
it's
day.
Like
White-
lemon.
Well, yeah, it is.
Then
Okay. I've said that
also
wrong, but a lot of people do like that.
Want to
and
plug in this
say
one
it's
right
much
here
like
down the
that.
river
Sure,
and end
I
it
get that.
with
Okay,
some
I
white
said
wine.
that wrong.
It looks like it ends the night pretty well on the label.
Yeah, you have some pretty sexy labels going on there.
Yeah. So all right, cool. So we talked about your wines.
So where can we get this? We can get it at Marigolds.
Yep, all gray.
All gray.
Marigolds, yeah.
There's a lot of all great listeners. So our boxing team, which why we're here, guys, our boxing
yeah,
team.
nice.
A lot of people come from all gray, and so we have a lot of viewers in all gray. So if you guys do want to get this wine, even though if you don't go to Marigolds, we understand you're in all gray. Tom's in another store called what?
Modern Craft Wine right now, great, right across the street from Sunrise Market.
Cool. So check it out. You guys in from all gray. So
But
these
hey,
guys are all
we
around.
got to get in. We got to support Sherry. Sherry's starting up. She needs to get going here.
Thank you,
So
Tom.
let's go to
Right,
all
right,
gray.
right.
Let's have
Well,
some flights here.
I
You
know,
guys-
but I mean,
Sorry,
I'm just
don't
saying
go to
there's
all gray.
actually
Don't
5
go to all gray.
locations that you
Yeah,
can get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But sorry.
Well, there's 4.
Well, 4.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 4 now. Okay, 4.
Well, wherever it's
what?
most convenient, and that's why you have different.
Well, of course I would
locations.
like to sell
You
it
know
in
what-
Standish
you know
at
what
Marigolds.
You know what would be nice is you start getting into the tour, the bus tours.
Well, yes, that's something
Yeah,
that we've
I've
talked
talked about
about
that too,
that
yeah.
we'd like
I
to do.
think that would bring a lot of traction in on those bigger groups, into maybe some private events. Where there's a lot of
Yes.
attraction on the private events.
Yes,
Yep.
and also our room, we have space too
Yep.
for small parties, showers.
And we got some $5
And
off
it's-
here too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what kind of
heck yeah.
promotions
$5
we
off
got?
of 40.
$5
Price
off?
promotion. We've got how about price now? We got the promotions, the locations where to buy it.
You can buy a case and get 15% off.
That's right.
And if you buy a case, do
How
you guys
many's in
have
a
any
case?
12
programs?
bottles.
12 bottles
bottles
in the
in a
12
case.
bottles in a case. Do you have any programs? I was once a part of a program where you could order wine and then
Yeah, like the
every
wine
month.
clubs. the
Yes,
wine
we're
clubs, yeah.
in the
month.
makes. We're,
Yeah,
we're in
we're
the
working
beginning
on that.
They
stages
give
of
you
a
whatever,
wine
too.
club.
You don't get to pick. You just get whatever.
You get what you get. Yeah.
You get what you get, so
Yeah.
it's a little easier on you.
I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it where you can pick, right? You'd get so many bottles a month or a quarter. St. Julian, we've looked at them, and they do it per quarter, and they do it that way. You can pick what you want. You get in there, so tastings, there's a discount on tastings, and then you get so many bottles of wine a month. You pick them out. You just go in there, and they'll keep them on reserve for you. Pick them up when you go in. So yeah, we're looking at stuff like that too.
Can you
yeah.
mix and match the bottles for the case price quantity?
Absolutely.
Mix and match for the cases. Hey guys, real quick, I'm Tyler with Whatever Blows Your Hair Back, and we're here talking about modern day craft, the sweet wine
Modern
deals,
craft.
and where to buy it at Marigolds. If you guys are just tuning in, we've been talking here for about 45 minutes, and we've been having some good talk. What do you guys say on the modern craft brand?
Really like it a lot.
So
Everyone that's tried it so far in Standish, the new customers and people traveling through that haven't tried Modern Craft, love it.
And if you're just traveling through, if you're on Huron and you get to the light, you hang a right at where the King's Dish is, and you're the next block. What's the name of the street
On the
again?
corner. Cedar Street.
200
no, yeah,
East.
Cedar.
200
what's this, the
East
cross
Cedar.
Street.
Forest Street.
Forest, right on the cross Cedar,
We got
on
some nice
Cedar and
signs
Forest.
up. There's a
Yes,
the
we have
windows
some
are all
signs.
Yeah, the
decorated
windows
now.
looks
yeah.
great. The
Yeah,
windows
you
look
can't miss
great.
it.
So, all right. So we talked about who you guys are, what you're all about. We talked about your prices. We talked about your product. I think we nailed a lot on what you guys have to offer and what your proposition value is to your consumers. And is there anything that you guys would both like to talk about before we move on to the next topic? Or we're looking to
Conclude.
we're looking to conclude here, actually.
Well, actually, we're just looking on building the brand in Standish and getting some recognition out there.
So that we
have
need-
good
we need some
product,
love
good
from our
service.
viewers.
Yes.
So you can go to Marigolds or Winecraft page, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys are interested, go ahead and comment in anywhere on this thread, on this video, and we'll make sure to connect you to Marigolds or Winecraft any which way we can. So
moderncraftwine.com, and feel free to give us a like on our Facebook page. We've got a Facebook page out there, so give that a like.
and that's where
pretty
you run your
active.
promotions. So if you want to keep up with the promotions, go ahead and follow right there on the screen. We got it up, Modern Craft Wine. And yeah, this is great, guys. I think you've provided a good value to the community. You opened up an industry in a small town that appreciates that. And most importantly, you're both entrepreneurs working together for a common dream. So I'm a big supporter in entrepreneurs and the businessman and the struggle. So I appreciate you guys out there doing your thing, which allows me to build this platform to bring you guys in and help market you guys, because that's my end all goal. That's why you're on Whatever Blows Your Hair Back Studio. This is not only a boxing channel, but it's an entrepreneur enthusiast channel and a community outreach. So we got entrepreneurs here who are doing something big in the community, as well as I'm trying to with the boxing. and we have a lot in common. And that's what whatever blows your hair back's all about. Just doing whatever feels good, and kind of riding on the red tape. And I feel like you guys are doing that.
Great job.
Heck yeah.
So I guess that concludes it all up. We talked about everything about modern wine craft and Marigolds, and we're gonna be tuning out of here. Thanks for coming in, Mom. Thanks, Tom. Give
Thanks for
a
having
little
us, Tyler.
wave to the audience,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks,
Catch
guys.
you on the
Thanks
next
for
one.
listening.